Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So it is Alliance Wars Season 59 announcement, and this is going to be a controversial and a touchy subject, I know. And before we go any further, I am fully well aware of that I am in the minority when it comes to my views on Alliance Wars. I'm fully aware of that. Majority of the people like the one fight format that we are having currently, and I can see why, and I can absolutely see why for Kabam it makes sense, because Alliance War as a game mode played by a minuscule of proportion of players that really care, that do go for the tier 1. Majority of the players have given up on it. Bad rewards, it's hard to compete, one reason or another. Fine, I understand that as a company Kabam wants every game mode to be more popular, more played. It doesn't make sense for them to effectively keep going the way they are, where only the tier 1, tier 2 alliances are like taking it seriously, and most alliances are either not doing it at all, or doing it haphazardly. I understand that. There are obviously arguments for the plan of action, and there are a lot of very passionate people on both sides. One side being significantly smaller though. That said, Alliance War Season 59. Forward. Hey all, and welcome. Welcome to another changelog for Season 59 for Alliance War. We're coming off big things and returning to our regular scheduled programming. What this means is that map will be returning to what players are used to, and along with that, we have new tactic coming down the pipe to both aid champions and bringing new challenges to the Alliance War battlefield and equip them to answer those challenges. Not only that, but we have some brand new developments to talk about and how the pool is being developed this time around, and now we plan to handle Whitelist for the next 2 seasons. So without further ado, let's talk through the changes coming this season. That's right, the regular war is coming back. To the dismay of many, to the joy of others. I'll leave it there. Timeline. Okay, so the season is gonna kick off on July the 9th. And the current season ends on June 25th. Whitelist change. We're experimenting with whitelist changes to help address the bloat within the tactic champion lists, which have started to approach nearly a third of champions in the game and also affect Saga champion lists. We have reduced the Saga champion count to 47 to better highlight these champions with the Alliance War tactic and throughout the Fantastic Four saga. However, this does create another design problem. How will this new list fare on Alliance War map when strategic champion bans combine with clever placements to create particularly nasty roadblocks? That's where the whitelist change comes in, because within tactics so far, some attack options hardly get used because of the blacklisting well-targeted bans. Players often cannot use their roster investments for Alliance War, defeating the purpose of their inclusion in the pool in the first place. Part of our experiments in freshening up Alliance War experience, we wanted to try out some new logic in how we use whitelist from season to season. We're experimenting with whitelisting all attack tactic champions, season 59-60, to see how it works and how it affects overall AW meta and champion rosters to participate in alliances. So every tactic attacker is whitelisted. Cannot be banned. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I do kind of see some problems with them, because there are defenders and placements that can't really get countered by the tactic champions. I have fairly limited amount of champions to counter them, and now all of those can get banned, kind of. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but fine, let's jiggy. I know a lot of you will not play Alliance War next season as well, so there you go. Right, new season, new tactic. With the return to the larger, more complicated map in Season 59, we want to continue the tradition of simplifying the tactic and let these challenging nodes breathe. The next 2 seasons, be ready to deal with our new defensive tactic, Frightful, and the new attack tactic, Fantastic. So the Frightful, if the defender has a Frightful tag, every 3 seconds the attacker is inflicted with power detonation passive lasting 10 seconds. That's actually very short, dealing 30% of the defender's base attack when they expire. So the way to deal with this is you need to be spamming special attacks fast and quick. And if there's anything that slows the fights down, it's going to be a problem. Yikes. And the defender pool is indeed kind of very solid and specific. Like, sometimes you can't spam specials against Dr. Doom, without getting smacked in the face. Nico Minoru, Tiger, Spider-Man Supreme, Rinter, Mojo, Mangog, Mordo, Kindred, Enchantress, Solvark, Bastion, Red Skull. Like against Red Skull, you can't be mega aggressive often. Benny Parker, Zola. I know in future. I think Zola is going to be a menace with the new tactic. Zola is bad enough already, but then when you go up against Zola, and you need to be able to shoot your special attacks like rapidly. It's gonna be nasty. Attack tactic, fantastic. If the attacker is fantastic whenever they would gain a buff or inflict a debuff, they pause all power detonation passives from defensive tactic for 3 seconds. Now, I don't know. This time definitely seems like the defensive tactic is significantly more powerful than the attack tactic. Because you don't even get rid of the power detonations or purify or gain anything. You just, die slower with the attack champions. Because often we have had times where, the attack tactic actually helps you in some way. In this case, the attack tactic literally just permits you to die slower. So, I don't know. Could be rough. Right. And the attacker pool is also not the best. They definitely didn't put our A team in there. So Silver Surfer, Gar, Caroline the Inferno, Galen, Captain Marvel, Phoenix, Hyperion, Angel, Superior, Iron Man, Odin, Terrax, Scream, Dark Phoenix, Count Nefaria, Christopher Takis, the Crappy Falcon, the Leader, Ant-Man, coming soon, Spider-Woman, Abomination, Immortal, Quicksilver, Red Guardian, Sentry, Morbius, Human Torch, Sandman. Okay, some of them are obviously very good options, but Sandman, come on, Sandman. Sentry. Come on, Sentry. But fine. Yeah. I mean, with the new map, I remind you that the Alliance War map was fairly tricky. I don't know. So the blacklists are non-existent, and the whitelists are all the tactic attackers for all the tiers. As reiteration, new champions released during this saga will also be whitelisted for a period. However, we aren't going to add them as coming soon here. Fair enough. So that is the Alliance War Season 59. And again, I know. Statistically speaking, most of you will not be happy about this. I get it. I, however, do think that there is the middle way. As I have been saying already, I do think that the simplified Alliance War map that does make people more, keen to play Alliance War because it's a single fight. Not necessarily simple, but spam a few revives and you're gonna kill it, and you have one loyalty revives. It is much more appealing to the majority of the players. I do, however, think that Alliance War has a special place in the competitive game as well, and there are people who really care about Alliance War a lot. On a personal side, this is good for my laziness. It's less kind of whatever. But for most part, I do prefer the old variant. Personally. But not by a huge margin. But I still prefer varied amount of fights and varied amount of assignments and, the old stuff. But okay. I'm not, however, utterly disgusted with the new thing. I don't think it's proper Alliance War. I don't think it's Alliance War. But we'll see what happens. Because I do have a fairly bad feeling that because majority of the player base are for it, that the best case scenario is that we get to keep both. You can opt in the old big map. You can basically opt in the old map, the big map, or you can play the small one. And then obviously the ones who play the big map can get better rewards because it is harder type thing to do. Which I know. But I mean, I think that is the best compromise there. Let me know what you guys think, but... Where? Well, I'm just rocking that bot. Also, the change to the whitelist. Tactic attackers being ban protected. I mean, I suppose that does make sense. Because, recently they did expand it to 5 bans, and that, typically did cover a fairly large amount of potential viable options. Either way, new season's coming. I know I'm going to play it. I know I'm going to try and do my best in it. And I hope you guys do too. Even though I know that many people will kind of like revert back to not playing Alliance War. But fine. Okay, I'll catch you guys soon. Let me know what you think. Bye-bye. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about